We are now, none of us can say that we have arrived at this junction of our journey spotless. Oh, the whole church has said amen. Because all of us have some stains in our life, has some stains in the fabric of our life. And we should never paint a picture to our children that we are so perfect. Yeah. Let them know that on this journey we have had difficulties, trials, pitfalls, and sometimes we fail. But we got back up. And by the grace of God, I am what I am. It just makes me want to shout, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. On this morning, I want you to travel with me into the Old Testament, 1 Samuel, chapter 3 of 1 Samuel. And we want to look at several verses in this powerful text. Familiar story, but one that is still alive today that can help us as believers to know that God has us in his keeping power, in his care. The Bible is a book of faith, filled with experience and people who have gone through experiences just like we do today. But many of the people had great faith. And there were those who did not have such great faith. Well, but today we want to share with you a mother and a son, and how God had invested in them and how they trusted God. 1 Samuel chapter 3, and I'm reading from the English Standard Version. It may read somewhat different from yours. Beginning at verse 7, and it says, Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, and all the word of the Lord was not yet revealed to him. And the Lord called Samuel again the third time, and he arose and went to Eli and said, Here I am, for you called me. Then Eli perceived that the Lord was calling the boy Samuel. Therefore Eli said to Samuel, Go, lie down, and if he calls you, you shall say, Speak, Lord, for your servant heareth. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. And the Lord came and stood, calling, as at other times, Samuel, Samuel. And Samuel said, Speak, for your servant heareth. Thank you. You may be seated. In this powerful portion of this pericope, we find that there is a relationship. Not only a relationship among family, but also a divine relationship with God. Building relationship, it's a beautiful thing. When you have invested your time, your emotion, your money, everything that you have within you, you have made a good investment into a relationship. It is a beautiful thing to just watch it unfold. There are certain ingredients that are needed to build a healthy and trustworthy relationship. You just don't build a healthy relationship overnight and expect everything to be beautiful. We have some young folks and some old folks too that have just fell in love overnight because someone bought them a Happy Meal or took them to Luby's and they are thrilled and excited. No, it would take a whole lot. It would take more than that to build a relationship. It takes talking. It takes listening. It takes time and fellowship. Good relationships takes patience. And it takes good understanding. A healthy relationship, you'll always have something to talk about in a healthy relationship. You will learn to talk to one another and not talk at one another. And in any great relationship, there are essential things like sacrifice and forgiveness. Forgiveness is the door that opens to healing when things go bad in any relationship. There's a willingness to step out of one's own personal desires and travel a little further in the center of the relationship. Because when things are at a 10, and it's a tension level of 10, people have a tendency of stepping back and going their separate ways. But when the relationship is authentic, you have a way of moving your own desires and stepping right into the center to meet that person right where they are. Each of us, we are formed and conditioned by the circumstances of life. In other words, y'all remember that song a long time ago? Some of y'all too young to remember. I don't know who sang it, but it says, what you see is what you get. And sometimes in relationships, when we get involved with certain people and things, and one morning we wake up and all of the excitement is gone, and we say, I don't know how I got in this mess. What you see is what you get. They didn't just become that way when you woke up one morning. It was already there. In this narrative, we can see the beauty of a healthy relationship that renders trust, patience, fellowship, and faith. There was a woman by the name of Hannah. And Hannah, she could not birth a child. She was barren. She could not produce a child, and she wanted a child real bad. In chapter 1, Hannah was in worship service. In spite of her condition, she still went to church. She still went to worship service. And in verse 7 of chapter 1, whenever you get time to read it, in verse 7, it says, her adversary went to the house of the Lord. Follow me on this. Her adversary went to the house of the Lord to provoke her. My Lord. Ooh. Can I just drop this in? I'm not going to park in anybody's driveway. I just want to drop this in. I'm going to get it reversed, and I'm I'm going to get out of your driveway.
Okay.
Why do people wait to church for drama? You got the park. You can even go and rent if you got enough money that where the Texans play. Get in that field and do what you want to do. But he said her adversary went to worship to provoke her. And her husband Elkanah, her husband did not understand her pain. Let me drop this in onto us husbands. Woo! And they say, preach it to the choir. We must learn to be more sensitive. All the women say, yeah. We must learn to be more sensitive to our mates. He did not feel what she was feeling. He did not understand her pain. But Hannah's faith and relationship with the Lord allowed her to rise above the pain and the misunderstanding. Sometimes all you have is God. Sometimes family don't understand. Wife don't understand. Husband does not understand. Children does not understand. Your best friend does not understand sometimes. And all you have is your faith in God. Now watch this. Hannah prayed. Hannah prayed, and in the praying, Hannah, she was able to face and rise above the intellectual capacity of her doubters. See, when you are in touch with God, it'll allow you to rise your thought process. It will allow you to rise above the doubter. Somebody ought to hear me today. Because you do have doubters. And they may not be in your close circle, but they are around your circle. And they don't believe the God that you serve. They don't believe that God would do what he said he would do. They are actually watching you to fail. But Hannah here, she was barren. She was taunted. Her husband did not understand. But her faith allowed her to rise above the intellect of the other people. I must confess, there were times my faith had to rise above the doubters that were around me. The Bible said that Hannah was praying, and as Hannah was praying, when you look at this story, this is marvelous. As Hannah was praying, the Bible said that her lips was moving, but nothing was really coming out.
Thank you, Lord.
Now watch this. Now, they at the house of the Lord. They at the house of the Lord. Now Eli is the priest of that time. And God is getting ready to change the gods. Eli is the priest of that time. And Eli is looking at Hannah, and he sees Hannah's mouth moving.
What's up?
But he don't hear anything coming out. See, Hannah was praying. You don't need to let everybody know what you're praying. Some folks want to try to block your blessing. You need to talk to you and God and watch God work it out. Hannah knew that she was even in worship service, but there was doubters in the worship service. And I can just see Hannah's lips. Wasn't nothing coming out, but she was just mumbling. I know you're going to do it, Lord. I know you're going to do it. I know you're going to do it, Lord. I know you're going to do it. I know you're going to do it, Lord. I know that sounds like a rap song. I know you're going to do it, Lord. I know you're going to do it. Eli thought she was drunk. Hannah never took a drink. See, when people don't understand your connection with God, they think something wrong with you. Everybody is not made to understand your connection with God, because your connection with God is not linked to anybody else. It's linked in a personal relationship that you have with the Lord. It does not matter what folks think about about you. It does not matter how they feel about you. The only thing that matters is the God that you serve. He is my keeper. He is my protector. He is my provider. And he watches over me.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit our website, pgbcmedia.com, for information such as upcoming events, inspiration, and membership. Pleasant Green Baptist Church is the church where Christ is the head.